Okay, well, that's all you're getting for tonight. Keeping it a short show. But I hope that was at least a nice enough taste that you're going to say, okay, well, you did that this week, but believe me, it's going to be a lot different every single week. That's just what these sounds seem to be wanting me to do. I only had 3 sounds that I even had queued up. We're going to be plowing through a lot of sounds in the coming weeks and hearing all these different things synthesizers are capable of. So I hope you find this to be an enjoyable program and tune in on a regular basis and share it with your friends. So please do share it, subscribe to the channel, of course, and be watching for the events. And if you haven't put me in a circle, please do put me in a circle, and I'll put you right back again. Okay, so that's all for tonight. And thanks a lot for listening. Good night. Hello, everybody. Just one channel, 1 second. Doop. Hello. Okay, all right. It's off with a bang. Let me get this this thing turned off here. Here we go. We'll have some little headroom. I might have been cutting out a little bit. I hope not. Too much. But yeah, it should be fixed now. Yeah, putting those special effects in at the same time as the flute playing tends to be a little bit of a challenge to YouTube for some reason. They started complaining. But okay, so yes, here I am, and we have a fantastic show. So let me just bring up the cropped comments over here, and we have some people already here. And yes, we had some audio crises earlier. So yeah, I reinstalled the Voicemeeter program and forgot to re-enable it in OBS because since it was uninstalled, it said, "Hey, there's no such thing," and so it removed it. So anyway, I had to redo the settings. Now they're all done. So let me know if my voice is okay. Oh, let me turn this fan off. There we go. I had a little fan on my legs so I could hear it over the headphones. So I knew that wasn't kosher. You can't be having sound like that coming over your headphones, or coming over the fan noises. I mean, come on, how uncouth. But I tell you what, it's going to get hot in here a bit, and I just may be opening up that door because it's like 82 degrees or something like that, or 83, and I'm on the upper floor with a tin roof above me, and it gets pretty hot in here. So when it starts approaching 90 or so, I'll probably give up and open up the door, and you may hear some background noise then. Who knows? But okay, let's see. So looks like I have quite a crowd in here already. Yes, thank you. Hey, Jim Sharp is here, and let me make sure so I can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, yeah, okay, good. Bill Graham's here. Sheila's here. Hey, how's England? Yay, the Brit Pack. And yes, Sheila, just music interlude goes for an hour. It's, as Tim pointed out, it's like my test pattern to make sure things are working, because the audio wasn't working for the full half hour. And but yeah, okay, Bluetooth gang, time for a middle musical interlude. Yep, and I'm going to have yeah, it's Tim saying, note to self, Terry Britton's pre-show music is his pre-broadcast test pattern. Correcto. All right, so yeah, so anyway, fortunately we caught it. A whole bunch of people were pinging me, and Tim Longwell even sent me a private message that came through, and I saw it right there as soon as I walked in the room. So anyway, so that's handled. All right, tonight's show is going to be pretty cool. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll switch over to the other capture. Let's see, which one do I want to use? This one? Yeah, that one. Okay. I got a whole bunch of things going on for today. So I got the yep. There, so okay. And move that over there because it's going to open up. All right, so I'm going to talk about a YouTube feature this week. And let's go ahead and click that. Open her up. We're going to really focus on YouTube this week because there's been a lot of interest. And so I'm going to do a bunch of tutorials on YouTube stuff. Oh, yes, the blue juice is here. So please do let me know if there's any technical issues or strangenesses going on. But I think we'll be okay today. All right. I'm going to go over the uses of the annotations a little bit. I'm going to go over some mixing live video with graphics some. I'm going to just show how to use an overlay. Well, many of you that already do lower thirds, it's the same basic idea. But you see it right now, is that what I'm doing here is mixing live video with the graphics using the OBS program. And so I have my webcam on top. I've got the little window over there that I'm showing stuff through, and it's a transparent window. It brings the stuff from a capture card, and I got a picture in the back. You know, this acts as a kind of a background to my webcam and a foreground to the content that's in that box. So, and it's got a big hole chopped out in it with a blue frame, and that's how that works. But so I was going to give a quick preview on how that works again. But even more important, I was going to run through how I set up these live events with an event page. This doesn't only apply to YouTube live events, although I'm going to show you how to quickly do a live event. It'll take 5 minutes or so. But the main thing is that I'll be grabbing the URL after I'm done creating it, and I'll be putting it into a YouTube event, okay? I mean a Google event, a Google Plus event page. You can put other things into Google Plus event pages, but the video, if you're using a Vimeo, you can announce a Vimeo thing, a concert window, concert, all these different outlets that we have where we can do video and live. You can still use the Google Plus event page so that you can corral comments and stuff and have a repository that people are comfortable with to kind of do community, okay? So, also I'm going to do I'm just going to show you these YouTube Playbook courses exist. And I thought, since I did this with Roland Takaoka last Saturday, a week ago Saturday, sprucing up your YouTube channel, I thought maybe I'd cover some quickies on that, although you could also just go watch that video from the SSS Smarties thing that we did last Saturday, and I have that on my my channel, so on my Google Plus profile. Okay, so monetization of streams. A lot of people wonder, how can I make money with my information? And Udemy and Audacity are two ways, but I was going to show how this community exists and a lean startup free course. Okay, so I just wanted you to see. There is no joke of the week, I'm sorry, but I do have a Pixlr trick of the week. Making use of bad images is the feature today. And also I'm going to cover colorizing black and white images. So I think those two will make kind of a fun thing. For audio magic, I'm going to attempt to do keyboard with flute and vocal. Not a real vocal where I'm like have words. But I'll try to do a vocal and have a harmony, or at least have dit dit das or something. But we're going to use Audacity and do a multi-track live is basically what the idea is. So we'll see how that works. For poetry reading, I got a great poem, The Butter Betty Bought, by Carolyn Wells. And I'm going to show her book as well. And some cool stuff. Storytelling, I'm going to read from my book that I've done, did quite a long time ago. Oh, a couple of years ago. And I'm just going to read a segment, a small piece from it, called The Dollar Bill Story. Okay? For the Eyes Closed segment, I thought I'd do a guided meditation. And if you would like me to do the Deep Relaxation by Robert Fritz that I did in week 2, I believe, maybe I could do that again. But I don't know if I'll have time for all that this week. It looks like I'm packing this thing. Of course, do you want to do musical interludes? Video tip of the week. I'm going to talk about Screencast-O-Matic. Okay. Sound effect of the week is the afternoon crickets, long. The free background music of the week is Nevada City, which is truly a beautiful piece. Sciencey item of the week. Sorry, I really don't have a sciencey item of the week. Okay, so hey, I had to leave something out. And superabundance item, going to cover one of Google's amazing tools in particular. And also talk about Peter Diamandis having this great blog at Tumblr. Okay, so and into the deep zone, I'm going to talk about the map is not the territory. A little bit about science and assumptions that science sometimes seems to make. And shared MindMap of the week. Hands-on science display sculpture ideas. I hope one of you ambitious people will build or help me build someday. You'll see. And cool Googly thing of the week is the image search tools. I'm going to show you some of the really awesome things about Google search tools that you probably didn't know the image search could even do. And lastly, but not leastly, I'll share 3 of my posts from the week. Okay? Gosh, so what should I do first? It's so hard to decide, isn't it? It sure is. By golly. Well, how about a musical interlude? How's that sound? How's that sound? Sound okay? Yeah, let's do a musical interlude. Okay, because I want to do something awesome. All righty. So let me just switch over some things and turn on some reverbs. Okay, this one's just flute this time. Okie doke. All right. Hope that was nice. A little mellowing out. Since I was going to start out with the guided meditation thing, and I said, you know what? Not necessarily everybody wants to do the guided meditation thing, but if you put in the comments that you'd like to do the guided meditation thing later on or next week, I could start out with it. The point was, I was thinking I really should put it near the beginning of the show so that people could get right to it really fast if they wanted to take a breather, a refresher on doing the whole thing, and then give themselves the post-hypnotic suggestion and all that kind of stuff. you don't know what I'm talking about, it was in the second Bluetooth Jubilee program, I believe, and where I did the Robert Fritz's deep relaxation technique, along with the suggestion, post-hypnotic suggestion, basically, to let you drop into the same state instantly just by saying your name and taking 3 deep breaths. Okay. Well, let's see. What else can I do? Well, let's jump right into some of this stuff. Let's make sure I don't have things messing up here. Okay. I'm going to get this thing down here. One second. I just have to do a little housekeeping right now. There we go. Because I want to make sure I'm not, that I'm seeing what I'm telling you that I'm seeing. Okay, well, let's go right to the shared mind map of the week, because I would like to get that kind of not over with, but just out there so that people see that well, let me explain. About 15 years ago, I was like one of the first people to do hands-on science classes as after-school programs for kids, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. And it was immensely popular. It took over the whole southwestern end of the state. I was doing, well, I did it in five different schools in 4 towns, and in Fairfield County and just north of Fairfield County. Okay, so it was really a big success for me. I had a lot of fun, and developed a whole bunch of cool hands-on science classes. I had the Electric Creator Series. I had the Sounds Incredible was the audio class. I had Color and Light Magic. I had Crazy Machines was the Simple Machines class, where they actually built a Rube Goldberg machine that wrapped all the way around the room. And that was kind of cool. That was really cool. That was a 6-weeker. And but along the way, I developed a whole bunch of ideas that I thought would really be fun to promote the whole idea of doing hands-on science to kids. And so I came up with all of these crazy ideas. Oh, let me get this thing to hide. There we go. And let me make sure that my Zoom It thing is working here. Yeah, there we go. Control. All right, good. And so as you can see, I came up with some nutty ideas. Giant angled mirrors, giant skyhook balancer, a tennis ball raceway, and not just a mediocre one, a really cool one. I came up with all these little designs. But just saying it, just say twirling musical hoses, twirled around, you hear stuff. We'll have them just cut to different lengths so that you can hear different sounds and play harmonies. The lever demo, beanbag toss, to demonstrate how levers work cool. A bicycle crank, color mix discs, where you put your different colors on the wheel, and then you turn the crank and you see the colors mix. Wagon ride, of course. Piggyback streams from a tall column. If you have holes in the column that's tall and you fill it up with water, the streams come out different lengths. Okay, the ones above are short, and they get longer and longer and longer as you go down because of gravity, pressure effect. Giant mobile wire and a challenge. Wand and a wire challenge. Remember the wand and a wire challenge where you had to hold the circular thing so it didn't touch the wire and go through like a bunch of curves? Well, imagine that on a grand scale. Okay, well, that's all of these were on grand scales. But so that's the idea. That's what this particular mind map that I'm sharing is. I won't go through all of these because there's a ton of them. But that's your mind map of the week, the public mind map of the week, and I'll have the link in the show notes in the description so anybody can go there and borrow these ideas. They're all just ideas, total public domain. Ideas can't be patented. And I'd love to, if anybody ever wanted to collaborate on building such a thing, you got woodworking skills and metalworking skills. And my vision was to have things like this kind of strewn all over town in these various cities as like sidewalk curb displays and things in parks and stuff like that. So that was the idea. So there's your huge list. That's the mind map of the week. All right, share the public mind map of the week. All righty. Now what else do we have here? The cool googly thing of the week. Well, this is so valuable. I'm just going to jump right into it, okay? It's the image search tools. So let me go ahead and bring up Google, and I'll just run this through. I'm going to just make this thing. Well, let's see. What should we look for? What kind of things should we look for? How about anybody have some suggestions for what we should look for? Let's see if anybody's got a suggestion. Because 40-second delay, so like you have, I'm waiting 40 seconds for you guys to have 5 seconds to think of something. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's just not fair. Okay, let's see if any comments come in. Oops, wrong window. There we go. Yeah, great. Very cool for summer activities. No, I'm not an amazing teacher no matter what the subject. I mean, I have one failing, and that is cooking, unless you want me to be amazing about cooking hot dogs. But I don't know, I probably could work up a good cooking class if I wanted to. However, let's look up the image search, and we'll look up something like cooking utensils. How's that? So let's do, I'm going to make this a different size. Let's see. I got the full screen. No, I really don't need that. I just need... Now I don't remember how I had what I just had. Okay. Let me just make this full size. Okay, I'm probably going to have to... there we are. Okay, so let's look for cooking utensils. Alrighty, and we switch over to images. And, oh my gosh, look at all the kitchen utensil pictures. So if you ever were doing a blog and you needed a picture of kitchen utensils, if it was a private blog, many of these things are okay to use for personal use, but it's a far wiser thing to do is to go here to the Search Tools button. See, that's Search Tools. Yeah. And click on that, and you see a bunch of neat things come down. Okay, usage rights I will cover first. Labeled for reuse with modification includes commercial use. Okay, so if you have a need to on a commercial site, one that you make money on, then you can say labeled for reuse with modification, and it shows all the ones that are actually labeled to be in the public domain for that extensive purpose. Okay. You notice quite a few disappeared. Okay, how about we didn't want to modify it, just labeled for reuse? Well, that's going to be a larger subset. Okay, how about we just need it for our own use, non-commercial reuse with modification, meaning we're going to crop it or we're going to do something to it. There you go. Many of these I've been noticing are in both. Okay, and lastly, for labeled for non-commercial reuse just means reusing it as is. Okay, and I notice for the most part I'm seeing the same images at the top. Okay, so that's great. That's great. Now I'm not going to filter for that right now. I'm going to take away that filter, and I'm going to hit Search Tools again because it disappeared. Let's say I only want to see red, only the red utensils. By golly, I can get only red utensils. I mean, that's so cool. I really love that. Okay, you can go by just that color. One thing that's really awesome is you can go just black and white also. And those are great for making masks or you get rid of the white background and make it so it's transparent, and so you can lay it over any kind of color you want. But there's a method in Pixlr that makes it so you can make the background, whatever's white, become any color you desire. I'm going to actually show how to do that later on. But you see, there's all kinds of stuff in here, black and white. And here's even a bingo game. Now let's say you wanted something, you love this pattern, you're saying, oh, I like these things. These are like patterns. I don't know if you knew about this. This may blow your mind. But you can click on an image here and pull it, and this shows up, search by image. And you drop an image in there, okay? Drop image in there. You do see that, I hope. Drop image here, okay. Boop. It does a new search, and look, it finds visually similar images. Click on visually similar images, and you get a whole bunch of visually similar images. Pattern type things, okay? Is that cool or what? That is so cool. And we're just getting black and white ones. What's more? And this is great for, like, I was reading in one article, he was pointing out how if there are charts often show up in black and white. So if you were looking for a chart of different types of cooking utensils, or something that is chartable, something could have charts, then looking for black and white first is often a way to get started to find a chart. Okay? But as you see, you have a lot of images to go with. And some that I don't understand, like what that's doing in there down here. But nonetheless. So, and that's the one we started with. So let's go ahead and do it again. We'll base it on that. All right, so you're getting the idea how awesomely cool this is. And just find nothing but things. Look at this. It's including some of these, including some of these things that you flash with your camera, with your smartphone. All right, that's incredible. And it shows some different colors. Okay, now let's say we wanted to go ahead and change the color and find only orange ones. Are we going to find any orange ones? Yes, we found orange ones. Okay, what if we only wanted green ones? My gosh, we have green ones. Okay, so anyway, you're getting the idea that these things over here that people tend to ignore are really, really awesome. Under size, you can find any size, but some of these are going to be smaller than you want. Like this is 297 by 297, 350 by 350, 200 by 200. Those are really too small to use as a web graphic unless it's like a thumbnail, you know. They're really too small. You need big ones. So let's say we only want large. Okay, so now, wow, does that narrow the field for this particular search, eh? And this is the kitchenware in green. Okay, let's get any color again. Let's go back to any color. Okay, kitchenware, large. So all of these images are large, okay? And meaning they're a fair size, like this 1300 by 780, 1300 by 1175. So these are all pretty large. That may be larger than you need. So medium would suffice there, you know. And of course, you can always find something too large and you can make it smaller without losing quality. You can't take small and blow it up without it looking like a Minecraft game, you know, all pixels and stuff. So this is pretty awesome, isn't it? So go ahead and let's see if we have labeled for reuse with modification. And see, none of these were labeled for reuse with modification or for reuse. But it might be because I'm just it might be because I've got to reset the search tools and look again. Let's try it now. Okay, so I hit my search tools, get usage rights. See, I had too many criteria going on. So now we have labeled for reuse with modification because I'm not just looking for the black and white ones. Get it? Okay, cool. But let's only find the. No, okay. We'll just stick with the. Hey, and look at this. Transparent, by the way. Transparent means, what that means is usually there's a transparent aspect to the image. it's probably going to be a PNG type of picture or a GIF with transparency, meaning the white areas are going to be transparent, so that whatever background these are put on, you'll see the background through what is the white area. So that's another really cool thing. This makes these like clip art type of things, okay? And notice they're all labeled for reuse with modification in this case. Or I could just go with labeled for reuse if I don't intend to actually modify them in any way. Okay, is that cool? Okay, now type, you can say I want only faces, photos, clip art, line drawings, and animated. Line drawings very often are this type of transparent thing. That's quite common. And but you also can find your animated GIFs in here. So let's go ahead and see if there's any. No, let's reset the search tools. Okay, click on search tools again, and let's just look for animated across the board of all kinds. So you see how you have to sometimes reset, and there's also this right here, the clear button does the same thing. It resets the search. So so this is supposedly finding me animated ones. Yep. And so, but they're not animated in the search, so I would have to actually click one, I guess, to see how it's animated. It doesn't look, none of these look particularly like they're candidates for animation to me. It's animating! It's animated! Okay, so, that is awesome. It's a, yes, that is Star Trek Enterprise. Okay. Okay, so now you know. All right. So what other things? What other things in here that was I really hot? Oh, the time. You can show the time when it was. That's not as big a deal. The size, as I pointed out, you can do larger than, or you can actually type in an exact size that you happen to need. That's going to narrow your search down unless it's a gigantic search. Okay. And another thing is black and white images are often really, really cool to take in and colorize, and we're going to do that in a Pixlr tutorial next. Okay, so that'll be our next item that we do. Okay, so that's there you have it. That's the whole big deal. So let's shrink this down. All right, get back to some. Should be Google's ambassador. Let's see. So let's go back here. Okay, the sound, and there we go. Oh yes, domino patterns, huh? Yep. Yeah, this search function is really, really awesome. So yes, I should become a Google ambassador, absolutely. All the stuff I show. Okay. Well, how about we want to try out a musical interlude? I got this thing I want to try. Let me see. I have to change some settings in my unit here. Whoop. And change it to number 1. And let's see what we have. Oh, I can't hear it. A second. Make it audible. I'll take it off mute. Alright, I thought that was cool. Yeah, it was fun. I just turned up that arpeggiator a little. Now, believe it or not, you are hearing 6 or 7 synthesizers all going at once. So, I'm out of control. What can I say? Okay, let's put this back to here. All right, so there's your musical interlude number 2, or 3, number 3. Yes. All right, well, I thought I'd jump right into the poem of the week. Yes, poetry. Let's do the poetry. What do you think? Okay, let's see. Poem of the week. Let me switch over here to this thing. And there. Okay. All right. So the poem of the week. It is The Butter Betty Bought. And this was written a long time ago, and it's an awesome little poem. And I really don't even need to look at it. But I thought I'd take you to Carolyn Wells' actual book where the poem is in a bit. And it's because it's on Gutenberg Project. So, but the way it goes is like this. I really don't need to be looking at it at all. And you can't really see it either. Let me see if I can do a cropped Star Trek close-up maybe. Yeah, that might work. A little bit bigger. Okay. There we go. All right, The Butter Betty Bought by Carolyn Wells. Get my mouse in place. I don't need this stupid thing. Betty bought some butter, but she said, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better batter will but make my batter better. So Betty bought some butter, better than the bitter butter, made her bitter batter better. So 'twas better Betty bought a bit of better butter. All right, but this is a tongue twister, so I really read it completely wrong. Let me read it the way it's supposed to be read, okay? Okay. And see if I can get this mouse to stop running all over the place. Here we go. Okay. Here's how it goes. Betty bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So Betty bought some butter, better than a bitter butter, made her bitter batter better. So it was better Betty bought a bit of better. So it was better Betty bought a bit of better butter. So it was better Betty bought a bit of better butter. So it was better Betty bought a bit of better butter. Yeah, well, anyway, so yes is the answer to that question. Okay, and Wikipedia actually has this a nice little discussion of the Betty Botta, but they call it Betty Botter. And I said, no, wait a minute, Betty Botter? Who wrote this thing? Betty Botter. And they even say over and over again down here in the lyrics, Betty Botter, and they say variations, Betty Botter. Betty Botta. B-O-T-T-A, folks. This is how I learned it, okay? Botta. So I couldn't buy this Botter thing, so I went directly to the source. I went to Gutenberg Project. And you read the book online as HTML. And this is the original book that it all came from, the Jingle Book, okay, with wonderful illustrations. And I have to go way down to find Betty Botta. And I'm probably going to go right by it because it's not marked, you see. And let's see if I find it. There it is. The Butter Betty Bought. Betty Botta. This is Carolyn Wells' own book. So how could Wikipedia do such a thing? Don't they even bother looking? This is the original printing of the book. And I did make an editorial change myself. She says, then she bought a bit of butter, where I always say, so Betty bought some butter, better than the bitter butter. But anyway, there you have it. Betty bought a bussin' butter better than, but she said this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So she bought a bit of better. So she bought a bit of butter better than the bitter butter made her bitter batter better. So it was better. Betty bought a bit of better butter. Okay, say that 3 times before you go to bed tonight. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, so we're cooking. We're just cruising right along here. Okay, so that's your poetry for today. Whee! Oh, so let's go to the Pixlr. Let's go to one of the Pixlr tutorials, because I have 2 Pixlr tutorials. And since we were discussing black and white images, let's, as they say, let's go to the videotape. Let's go right to Pixlr. And, oh, not this. Oh, looks like I'm going to have to do this one first. All right. All right, so first we're going to do, because this is loaded already. First we're going to do making use of bad images. Okay? And here's the various things that you can do to make use of bad images. Okay? You can crop the hell out of them. You can change their colors. You can make them spooky. You can combine interesting details with another picture. You can use as a background texture, and you can warp it out. So if somebody can find me a bad picture on the net and put a link to it in the comments, I will go apply my massive brain to fixing that image and showing you how even that image that you thought was hopeless and crummy and loathsome has a use. So this is the whole idea, that you can use anything. Okay, so I went on the web and I actually searched for lousy images, and I came up with this cemetery, and I think it's a pretty lousy image of a cemetery because it doesn't show, it shows this tree far more than it shows the actual details, okay, of the image that we want to look at. Well, so I took, and the first thing I did is I cropped it. And so here you have the cropped version. Okay, and here I'll go ahead and kind of get this out of the way, I guess. Oh, I can't. Okay. Just close it. Goodbye. Okay, so I went ahead and I cropped it. So as you see, I cropped it quite a bit. And let's see. Oh, let's see, I can move this thing over a little bit. Hide my details. Hide my stuff. And make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, in fact, if I make this bigger, that would be good. Hide the ad. Yeah, goodbye, ad. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, no, come back. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so the ad is gone. All right, so the first thing I did was crop it, as you can see. And I cropped it down, and that's one feature. That's trick number 1, is find the interesting thing that is in that picture. There's always something interesting in a picture. It may be nothing but a texture. It may be an out-of-focus picture, but believe it or not, what you can do with an out-of-focus picture to make it interesting is astonishing. And you use that as like a background for another picture or for a video. Use it as a background, and or as a wallpaper. Well, for backgrounds, it's great. And for backgrounds for other things, or for text, just taking a crummy picture and making it even more crummy, and so it's unrecognizable. But anyway, so what we're going to do with this is we're going to oh, I see I'm looking in the wrong direction. Wait a minute, I can't do this. 1 second. Think. There we go. Now I'm looking in the right direction. Now I'm looking over there. See how clever I am, how I did that? See, now I'm looking over here. So okay, even though I'm actually looking in the other direction, it looks like I'm looking over here. That's all that counts, right? Okay, and so the first thing I did was I made a background copy. So I right-clicked on this and I said duplicate layer, okay? And made this layer right here. And then what I did was I went ahead and I applied, I got to bring this down so you can see my menus. Phew. There we go. I applied a filter. Oh no, I didn't. I applied a simple mode. I made the mode be difference. As you can see, it says mode difference. Okay? So let's see what that looks like. Ah! Okay, so obviously I went for spooky. It's a cemetery. All right, so I did. Okay, I went spooky. I'm so cliched, right? So, okay, but I said, you know, this picture, it doesn't quite do it for me. It's kind of, it's just murky, you know, just looks murky. Sure, spooky colors, but it's just murky. So I took and I made another copy. I made a copy of that. Again, I right-clicked and said duplicate layer. And I added to that, I did hard light. And what did that do? It like gave it a lighting effect. Okay, so now I had these weird colors and I had a eerie lighting effect. Okay, and it brought out the text that was written on the stones and all that kind of stuff. So then I said, you know, but still, it's not very sharp. It's kind of dull. You know, it's fuzzy, a little bit fuzzy looking. And so I did my sharpen technique. And the way you sharpen is you make a duplicate again. Or, in fact, what I actually did was I did even fancier. Go ahead and show you. Here, let's go ahead and we'll get rid of this. Delete layer. Delete layer. Okay, so I had this much. Okay, I had these two layers. So I had it this far. Then what I did is I went ahead and I flattened the whole thing. I select all. You can use Control A or you can go up here to select all. Control A does the same thing. Then I copied. Copy, which is Control C. All right. And then I went to my history palette and I went back in time. See, I went back to before I flattened it. So now I had these three things. So now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say edit, paste. And there's my layer 9. This is, if I turned off everything else, you'll see it's a copy of the flattened picture because it's full opacity. See, it's all the way up at 100. And so I'll just give it a new name. I'll call it Sharpen Lighten. Now the reason I'm doing Sharpen Lighten, and I'm doing another copy of this duplicate layer, and I'll call this one Sharpen. Well, actually, no, get rid of this thing. I don't need this yet. I make that copy later. Okay, so first I'm going to go as Lighten. Okay, so first thing I do is I go up here to Filters, on Sharp Mask, and I throw a ton of emphasis at this thing. Okay, really way too much. Look at the halos. See the lighten part. The way Sharpen works is it makes a light on one edge. It lightens one edge, the lighter edge usually, and darkens the other side. Okay, so it emphasizes the edge by increasing the contrast. But look how huge that is. If I move this out of the way, you can see on the tree that you can actually see this darn edge. It's so overdone. Okay, you can see it's like hovering inches off of the tree. So probably have a radius that's too large. Let's bring that down to 2. Okay, but I'm killing it with the amount as much as I can. But that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that down. I want the darkened side to be emphasized. So I'll go ahead and say okay, and I'm done with that. But now I change this to lighten, and so I scroll on down, and there's lighten, and I pick that. I hope you can see that, lighten. Okay, so I'm going to pick that, and notice what happens. The whole thing lightens up. That's because none of the sharpening for the none of the dark part of the thing is there, and I've got this all the way up at 100. You typically don't have this very high. Okay, so oh, and I also am not combining with anything. I have to be combining it with something to be able to see this. Okay, so now I'm combining it with the layers below, and if I put it all up all the way, you see that halo, and I can tone it down. So I basically going to tone it down to about 20-ish, 29, 28, 27, so that the halo is very slight. but I have sharpened it. Now I'll make a copy of this thing, duplicate the layer, rename it as darken. There we go, and you click outside to make it take, and just change this thing here to darken, okay, which was further up here. There it is. So to changing it to darken. Bingo. So now I can leave that much higher. I'll go ahead and emphasize that. Oh yeah, and it brings out that text right away. It makes it clearer. So I'll go ahead and I'll bring that all the way up. All right, so I don't know if you saw this big effect. Let me see if I can move some stuff. Let me reset the palettes. And that way I can make this bigger. And zoom in. Okay, so now I'll turn it off. And so there's, without the sharpening, there's with the darken added. There we go. Okay, no sharpening. Darken, so you see the dark halo is applied. Okay, it's off and on. So you see the darkening effect. And it still actually might be too much. And then the lightening effect. And it just opens up the whole thing to be more dramatic. This darken actually might still be a little bit too much. Yeah, maybe about right there. Okay, so now I've taken a crummy picture and I've made at least an interesting picture out of it. Right? So, alright, so there's crummy picture into interesting picture number 1. Sharpened and everything. And all I didn't even apply anything but the sharpening as far as these adjustments up here. All I did was change this to difference down here, the mode, the blending mode, so affecting how it's going to blend with the layer under it. And then I made a copy and changed its blending to hard light with itself. Okay, making that, just brightening it up. Okay, so there you go. Isn't that awesome? And then you can go ahead and save it as a JPEG and stuff like that. Okay, so that's the coolness thing for there. Okay, and I don't need to save. Now, let me go ahead and see if I can. Oh, the Pixlr servers are broken. Look at that! I can't get in. Can't get into the library. Ah, I did that time. Ha ha ha. Had to fake it out. Okay, so that was lousy images. And here, this will be the one that I do in a few minutes, where I'm going to colorize this picture that I got from Wikipedia. I'll even show you where I got it from. Colorizing black and white images. It's the ballroom from the bottom of this Wikipedia article. Let's see if I can get this to load. There it is. It's the article is Paris during the Second Empire. And at the very, very bottom, it's looking all over for ballroom pictures. And at the very, very bottom was this picture, the Opera Ball, which was actually a huge ballroom back in those days. Okay, and there were a couple competing ballrooms, and this is people leaving the ball. Look at the ribald bunch of people. And this was the other one that was competing with it back in those days. Oh yeah, they knew how to build on a grand scale, all right. The Tuileries Palace. Yeah. So, okay, let's go back to talking about other stuff. Let's go ahead, I'll go back and get the comments stream. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Don't do that. Here we go. Get this out of the way. And, oh, I didn't know you couldn't see a lot of the tools with the new Pixlr interface. Oh, because of that stuff being in the way, I guess. Yeah. Well, anyhow, let's see. Oh, here's, it's a poem challenge. It's a tongue twister challenge. Okay. I'm going to try to say it, Scott. You asked for it. You had to write it in here. Oh no, oh my gosh, look at this. It's long. It's long as a reed more. Peter Piper, without pretension to precocity or profoundness, puts pen to paper to produce these puzzling pages purposely to please the palates of pretty prattling playfellows, proudly presuming that with the proper penetration it will probably and perhaps positively prove a peculiarly pleasant and profitable path to proper, plain, and precise pronunciation. He prays parents to purchase this playful performance, partly to pay him for his patience and pains, partly to provide for the printers and publishers, but principally to prevent the pernicious prevalence of perverse pronunciation. Thank you very much. Okay, you had to write it there, and you had to know I was going to try to read it. Okay. Oh, Elon points out it's up to me to edit Wikipedia. Yes, it is, I'm afraid. Oh. I have my references in place, so. Okay, and okay. So we had responses to the music piece, and yes, I'm the ambassador from Britain. Oh, look, I'm supposed to tell if the free transform is working properly. It seems all messed up since the upgrade. Upgrade? Okay, so gee, I'll have to look at that. Okay. Oh look, darker color. I can't see moving ants well. Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay, jazzy flute. Mm-hmm. Okie dokie. All right, let's take a look at, since this question came up right away. Bloop. And oh yes, that's right. I had things moved. Let's move things around. And this is not the screen. Full screen. Start Tech close up. There it is. Okay, so this is the one I'm doing. And bring this up in here and do that. And there we go. Okay. Alrighty, let's see about this free transform thing. So first of all, let's see how free transform is not working. There's free transform right there. Oops, wrong keyboard. Free transform. And it's not Control T, by the way. And look at that, it's all screwed up. Look at that, it's off to the side. It's not, the square isn't where it belongs. Isn't that odd? I mean, it still works. And holding shift down still makes it constrain. But look how the box is like off. It's supposed to be wrapped around the image, not all askew like that. That's crazy. All right. How about the box? Let me see. My marching ants. I'm using marching ants today. I don't know. Those marching ants look fine to me. Some people. Now, I understand Sheila's thing, but I don't understand this gripe. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Well, let's go ahead and show one little quick thing, how to make the mask thing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and right-click on this, duplicate layer. And I'm also going to make a new layer. I'm going to make a new layer first. That's right. I don't need a duplicate layer. Not for this project. Okay, now I have my little marching ants in here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get over here, I'm going to get my gradient tool. Okay. And I'm going to pick a gradient that is goes to transparency. See, it goes from black to transparent. Okay? See the little checkerboard pattern? That means transparent. So pick that out, and I'm going to then click off of there and click in here and pull it out. And there I have it, black to transparent. So it's transparent on this side, black on that side. Okay? Now, I don't need the selection anymore. I just did that to kind of make it so it's inside, so you'd be able to see the dramatic difference. Later I'm going to do it a different way. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Edit and select Pixels. Whoops. Here, let's do that again. Select Pixels, okay? And what Select Pixels will do is it'll select all the pixels on this layer, but it won't select the transparent pixels, and it'll also only partially select the semi-transparent pixels. That's the really cool thing. And so if you look over here, you see how it didn't select the whole rectangle? Its selection thing only shows where it selected, where it decided that it was less than 50%. Okay, so above this is more than 50% transparent. This way is less than 50% transparent. Okay, so but it's now selected. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and I'm going to make an image mask. I'm going to undo this in a sec, but the image mask button is down here where it says add I mean, not image mask, a layer mask. Okay, so you see it, add a layer mask. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it and see what happens. And I gotta get rid of, hide this because I don't need it. And didn't do it yet. Add layer mask. Oh, I have to unlock this. Aha, good thing. I'm glad I showed you. See the little padlock on that? That little padlock on the layer? Got to unlock it by double clicking it. There we go. Now I can do the layer mask to it. And there you have it. So where it's black, you see the layer. Where it's transparent, you do not see the layer. That's how that works. Isn't that cool? And it did it as a gradient. So how can we use that? And let's go to the history and do undo twice. This time let's invert the mask. Edit. And we say invert selection. We're going to, you have to do this to the selection first. You can't do it to the mask after you've made the mask. So invert selection. And now let's go ahead and make the mask. And you see it went the other way, and it didn't get rid of the background part. So, and it went this way instead and made transparency, cutting a hole through. All right, so how can we use this? I'll show you how we're going to use this. We're going to make a new layer, or heck, I can just use this layer, and I'll select all, Control A, and we'll just select all and hit delete. So now we got rid of that selection, and now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to deselect, and I'm just going to make a mask in here. Okay, so now I've made a selection in there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the layer that I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to fill that with a different thing. I'm going to fill it with this thing. Okay, I'm going to go in this direction. Oh, isn't that pretty? Okay, but mind you, I have this selection of the pixels. Don't I? Oh, no, I don't. Undo. Okay, go select pixels. There we go. Go to this thing and make a layer mask. And look what happened. It made this neat colorization effect to the image below. Okay, but that's really not awesome enough for me, so I'm going to move this down here. I'm going to get rid of this, delete layer mask, and instead I'm going to apply the layer mask right to this thing. So we'll go ahead and make this visible, select pixels, get rid of it, and this time we'll try applying the mask to the image itself. And that's kind of interesting. It's okay. It's just okay. I think I like the whole idea of just getting rid of this image, this mask. I'm not even going to use it. But anyway, now you see, notice it shows through on this side, and then it becomes more and more transparent on that side. So that's how that worked. So let's get rid of the layer mask. Instead, let's go ahead and say that we wanted to show what's underneath here. Okay, we wanted this to go through and show. So let's just go ahead and change this thing's mode to hard light. Ooh, now that's pretty sexy. That looks like real colorization, doesn't it? It looks like one of those old colorizations that you used to see in really old prints. And I love the way this kind of goes off into the background into the blue, because blue recedes, red comes towards you, and blue recedes away from you. That's kind of cool. All right, so, and we don't have to go full strength with this layer. We can tone down this layer and, get it a little milder. Now, we could have done a similar thing with this on top. So let's go ahead and make this one back to normal. Okay, stop that. So let's make this layer back to normal. Not hard light, just normal. And instead we'll make this guy the hard light one and see if we see much of a difference. Yeah, it's a lot stronger, but now we can pull back on the strength of it till we like how strong it is. So it's a slightly different effect. I admit it is different. It's not the same effect. I probably liked the other way better. So let's see. Oh, it didn't record me doing those moves. Okay. Yeah, I think I like the other way better, where this is normal. So what I would do, most likely, if I were going to do some transparency, is I'd go ahead and make this hard light, and I'd add a new layer that I'd throw in underneath everything else, and I'd go ahead and get me some white by clicking in here and making it white. And then I'll just fill this thing with white with the paint bucket tool. And now I have a basis. Let me get this back to normal, full strength. And so now I have a basis to kind of mellow it out by lightening it. Or I could make it darker. I could fill this lower layer with black instead. Let's go ahead and do that. Now when I change the opacity here, it'll darken. Okay? And it not only darkens because I'm adding gray, it's also muting the tone so it's not as saturated. Ain't that cool, folks? Okay, so now you've seen 2 Pixlr demos today. Now this isn't the only way you can colorize something. This is just a really cool way to colorize something. A more direct way to colorize things, and let me get rid of the hard light, back to normal. A more direct way is to use the adjustment hue saturation. And you click on colorize down here at the bottom of the little checkbox. It says colorize. And now you can pick any color you want for the whole thing. Okay? And then you can change the saturation so it's not as bold, as strong. You can change the lightness so it's darker, it's lighter. Okay, and mess around with what color you want it to be. All right, so I'm going for kind of a sepia tone and a little less saturation. Yeah, right about there. Okay, so that makes kind of a sepia type of a look. Okay, me personally, I would want to then lighten this thing up. I would go ahead and do with multiply. I would set this to multiply and fill this thing, or lighten maybe. And yeah, why not lighten? I'd fill this thing with white and paint bucket, and then change this thing to perhaps lighten, or I could do hard light, but just kind of tone that down. Oh no, lighten is definitely not the one. That's not the one I want. I want like multiply or overlay or one of those. There we go. Multiply, overlay. These all work kind of well. Well, I see that doesn't work well with white. Overlay works okay with grays. And hard light works really strong. In this case, I think multiply would probably be a cool one. And you can also put a gray in here. It's right there, 50%. Stop it, let go. There we go, 50% gray. And then you can use like overlay and those guys with that. And I see I've got a layer problem. Oh, I made the wrong thing. Overlay. Pay no attention to me when I'm making mistakes, by the way. Remember, everyone have a coughing fit when I'm making mistakes. There we go. Okay, so instead of multiply, we'll try overlay. Okay, and you see what that does, as long as, because overlay works with above and below 50% gray, and changes the effect based on the amount of gray. Okay. All right, so you have a bunch of different ways that you can do things. Hard light with gray, multiply with gray, just makes it a little too dark for my liking. And but those are the blending modes. You have that kind of fun going on. Okay. All right. Well, that's enough Pixlr for today. I don't want to overdose you with Pixlr. Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, I love overdosing with Pixlr. But there you go. Some colorizing fun. And you also learned the beginnings of how to make really crummy images look good. Okay. So, all right, what else are we going to talk about today? And thanks for coming, Sheila. I see Sheila Stover saying good night. Let me go ahead and switch my camera around so I can look at the read some comments. Okay, I have to do that old thing. Okay, now I can look at the comments here. Right? Okay, yeah, free transform sure is looking weird. Sure is looking weird. Don't know what's going on there. I have no idea. I'll bet you it's a bug, though, that they're really pulling their hair out about. And by the way, I'm in Firefox on this machine. So that's how it was working in Firefox today. Just so you know. Okay. Free transform. Sheila Hensley, the free transform. Okay, well, that's, okay, so it looks like I managed to at least get, you know, Pixlr, the Brits out of the picture, so, no, I'm glad Sheila could come. I mean, it's really late for her, you know, it's 5-hour time difference. So, so I'm impressed that anybody from England's managing to make it to this thing. Okay, so now what should I do? I have no idea. What should I do next? I gotta drink some blue juice, that's for sure. Oh, I have so many things I want to cover tonight. Okay, let's see. All right. I'll move this over here a little bit. All right, good. All right, so now you saw how to make use of bad images and how to colorize some images. So you got all your Pixlr stuff all at the same time. So I think if I were me, I would do a musical interlude as fast as possible. But what kind of musical interlude? That is the question. Well, let me see. Turn this up. Okay, I'm going to try to do something on the keyboard. Just keyboard. All right, pulled out all the stops for that one. Well, I hope that sounded okay. Yeah, that's my music, movie soundtrack music. So I go ahead and bring up some comments. We got a couple comments. Here we go. Aha. Okay, so Shayla took off just in time for dinner. So she's going to get some more music later on in the replay. Yeah, it sure is late over there. Well, yeah, and the whole idea of this show, by the way, is to kind of be as background music and background tutorials, and just most of the stuff's listenable. The Pixlr tutorials, of course, you got to watch, but... Well, as long as we're on the subject of movies, why don't I go ahead and read you, how about the story of the night? Is this too early for the story? I think not. Okay, do the story. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to read from a story called So, and let me go ahead and cue it up over here. I got to go find it and find the correct portion of the story to read out loud. And let's see. It's quite a ways down. There we are. Aha, there it is. Okay, this is going to have to be made bigger. Bigger text. Okay, so this is... oh, well, you can't see a thing, of course, right now. And I'll probably have to do some positioning. Okay, this is a story I wrote a little while, 4 or 5 years ago. And, oh no, it was more than that. It's like 6 years ago. And, but it's kind of a cool story, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called The Story of the Unusual Appearances of $3 Bills. Okay. So let me bring up the window. And I think that's the one. Yes. And I won't need this camera. Yeah, you can see I was having to wear shorts in here because it's so darn hot. My shortest shorts I've ever had on. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. And get this in position. And I guess that's going to be it. Maybe I can make it a little larger. There we go. That looks perfect fit. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to try to read it from here without touching the wrong keys. I'm going to turn this... Remind me, Terry, you turned this keyboard off in case I have to do anything. Because last week I was reading the Casey at Bat, and I was trying to scroll the window here down and forgot which keyboard I was on. So I went to scroll it with this keyboard, but instead managed to put my mouse right over the mute button and muted myself at the end of the poem. So I'll probably read Casey at Bat again in the future just to feel like I have closure on that thing. But for now, we're just going to cover this story. So let's hope my glasses work out. And, oh, in fact, let me go ahead and move this so I can see it. So I'm not looking over here. Well, maybe that might look normal. Leave it alone. Okay. So turbulent flowering spilled down the roadside byway in cascades of prettiness, all pink and dark, pink and orange. Flowing their ebullient... I'm starting over. Turbulent flowering spilled down the roadside byway in cascades of prettiness, all pink and dark, pink and orange, flowing their ebullient display ahead of the two travelers into the distance on either side of the long dirt pathway along which they traveled. "This is some dusty walking, but for the pretty flowers to look at. I'd be bored stiff," said the one. "Well, would you like to hear a story, then, to keep your mind off of your feet for a while?" the second asked. "Well, that might help me breathe a little more easily in this August heat, all right," said the first.
Well, did I ever tell you the story about the mysterious dollar bills that just kept on appearing on the roadbed? No, not that I can remember. Well, it really happened. What happened? Asked the first, perplexed. Magic, said the second. Mystery, miracles, the impossible. Wait, so let's start at the beginning, shall we? The first implored, curiosity piqued. Okay, well, have you ever been totally and completely broke, penniless, with no chance of finding money, not even by borrowing or by any other honest means? The first thought back to such times and rolled his eyes, the anguish of such memories penetrating him to his core. Well, yes, I certainly have, he replied. Well, I was in such a situation at one time. I had just started a new job and had a ride that dropped me off one exit away from the interstate exit where I worked. I was in a situation where I needed $3 in order to be able to eat lunch. A sandwich and a drink costing just under $3. My car was busted and I was awaiting my first paycheck to get it fixed. Oh, so what did you do? Did someone at work loan you the money? No, I found the money on the ground while walking between the exits on the interstate. Found the money? Yes, exactly $3. It was there on the ground. One appeared under some leaves. I picked that one up and was inspired to look diligently and carefully in case there was another one somewhere. And surprisingly, another appeared further down under a clump of grass. And then, after being bolstered in my confidence that looking just as hard might turn up another, a third appeared buried under sand by the curb further along. Exactly what I needed. Okay, well, that was fine for the first day. Then what happened? Well, that's just it. I found $3 again. Along the road? Yes. In the leaves and under trash and sand? Yes, and the same strip of road. A second finding of $3 exactly. Well, how did you miss those dollars the day before? Had you given up looking after you found the $3 you needed? No, that's just the point. These $3 were in different locations, spots I had missed. Or so it seemed. I'd walked right by them, even right over them, though I certainly and obviously didn't see them there the previous day. Well, eyesight is a funny thing. All 6 had to have been there, but you missed 3 the first day. Yes, but then there was the third day, and the same thing happened. I wound up spotting 3 more dollar bills. 3 you had missed the other 2 days? Now that is funny. Funny nothing. It was amazing. I don't know how amazing necessarily. You were intent on looking, I'd imagine, by this time, and found new bills hiding in the ground where they'd been all along. Yes, but now there are 9. Why only find 3 at a time? I don't know. Maybe your attention just wasn't sharp enough to spot them all at once on the first day. But then there was a 4th day, and 3 more bills appeared, and a 5th day with 3 more. At 15 bills altogether. Uncanny that I missed 12 bills the first day and 9 bills the second, eh? That's a lot to miss when I was looking so intently by this time, isn't it? Doesn't that seem rather strange to you? Strange, yes, but, well, I'm not finished yet with this story. On the next Monday, I found another 3 bills. By this time, I was doubtful I'd find anything, but there they were, appearing just like they had before, right in areas I had already walked the previous week. Okay, so that adds up to 18 bills now. And then Tuesday arrived and another 3 bills showed themselves. 21 bills along that same stretch of road. And I was still only discovering only 3 at a time, as I had been for over a week now. By now, the one listening to the story couldn't help but roam his eyes along the curbside and into the clumps of grass and flowers, wondering if he might spot a dollar there. So you are suggesting what? That you very selectively limited yourself to finding only 3 of the $21 thus far on day 1, and another 3 of the remaining 18 on day 2, and so on? That seems odd that your brain should filter out the existence of the others the way it seems to have. Yes, very odd indeed. And then Wednesday, there appeared another 3 bills, whereby this time I was certain it must be impossible to find any more. I had traversed this same stretch of road 7 times already, and this being the 8th, I was just about certain I could not possibly have missed another 3. And I was almost right. I only found the 3rd just as I was preparing to cross over the interstate to the other side to get to work. So you found 3 again on Wednesday? Exactly. And I think you're starting to grasp the grip of this tale. On Thursday, against all odds, I once again discovered 3 bills, which appeared the same way, from amidst sand-covered trash or under dirt clumps and brown wet leaves, or amidst straw-like grasses along the same 10-foot wide strip which I had already traversed 8 times before. Uncanny! Indeed uncanny. And on Friday, which was payday at last, a final $3 appeared, meaning there had been $30 bills along that stretch of road on that first Monday that I walked along that route, but had only found 3, and 27 bills that Tuesday, but had only discovered 3 of those, and 24 bills that Wednesday, and so forth. Or so one would imagine. But how on earth could anyone miss 27 out of 30 bills on that first day, let alone miss 24 out of 27 the second day, and so on? Ah, now you're beginning to see the mystery and the puzzle. How indeed? Oh, what did you think was happening? I truly could not help myself from thinking that these bills were simply appearing in the ground each day. By the end of the first week, that suspicion was already upon me, but every day of the second week, that was the only thought I was able to hold. That these bills were not there previously. The odds of me missing so many of them, and of only ever finding 3 on any single day, just seemed too overwhelmingly unlikely. That is entirely true. Quite impossible odds, I would have to say. And on that Tuesday of the second week, you know, they did not appear right off. I had walked almost to the end of my trek before the first one appeared, and then all 3 appeared in succession, merely footsteps away from each other. Before they showed up, I remember feeling like I had to simply acknowledge that the miracle was over, yet I should think my praises to the universe for having provided me thus far. Almost immediately after having that thought, the next 3 showed themselves. Incredible! Yes, and when I hadn't found the 3rd, by nearly the end of my walk the next day, I was overwhelmed with a sense of peace and confidence that the 3rd would appear. And so it did, just before I reached my crossing point. And so the same with that Thursday and Friday, I suppose. Yes, I was filled with this wonderful feeling of prosperity, of a feeling that I had no need to worry about being cared for again as long as I held on to my confidence that I would find them and continued to seek them diligently. And just as I expected, the 3 bills appeared those 2 days as well. Well, you must have been feeling pretty blessed by then. I was absolutely giddy, while at the same time filled with a profound peacefulness during my walks those 2 days in particular. I'll never forget that feeling. Well, what happened then? I mean, after you were paid and all? Well, I got my car fixed, and so never walked along that roadside again. I've never found $3 along the road during my travels since. Well, that's an incredible story. Now I shall be looking for dollars everywhere myself. I'm certain that if you had a true need, that these dollars would be there for you to discover by some kind of miracle, and that you would discover them, my friend. Well, thank you. After that story, I feel convinced that would be true. The 2 of them walked along the flower-laced dirt road for a while with calm sense of satisfaction, with things engulfing them both. It suddenly felt as if this highway along which they now traveled was delivering them exactly where they each needed right at the present moment. Oh, delivering them exactly what they each needed right at this present moment. The flowers, the wafting breeze, sunlight, and a clear sky with pillow-like clouds overhead and easy companionship. Everything they needed right at this time. Okay, so that's where I'm going to cut off for that story today. It goes on. Gee, I probably should continue. Yeah, it really does go on. Oh, it goes into a lot of philosophy. I'll wait for the philosophy. The deep thoughts part of the presentation, perhaps. Okay, so there you have it. there's your story for tonight. And yes. So, believe it or not, that story is based on a true story that actually happened to me. So I just turned it into a story, but that had actually happened. I have no idea how. Okay, so, oh, and that's the name of the book. So, one of these days I'll get it finished. Okie dokie. Well, I'm sure if that didn't put you all to sleep, nothing will. I really don't have characterizations for those two characters. Wish I did. I felt like it was not a very good reading compared to my other readings, but well, what the heck. All right, so what's next? I'll tell you what's next. To me, the next most important thing to do is the sound effect of the week. So let's go to the sound effect of the week and listen to afternoon crickets, because I hear crickets in the audience after I read that story. So let's go ahead and find afternoon crickets. Here we are. And I got to turn up the audio here for you to be able to hear anything. And there you go. So this is perfect. Well, I should continue reading the story from there. The two of them walked along the flower-laced dirt roadway for a while with a calm sense of satisfaction with things engulfing them both. Okay, so anyway, there you have, this is the sound effect of the week. It goes on for a massive 2 minutes, 10 seconds. So it's like, you need any kind of a outdoorsy feeling, you got it right here. Say, Henry, you think we should go over there and take a look at what's happening in the outhouse? No way, I'm not going near that outhouse. Not me, you go. I'm not going near it. Last time I went near that thing, it bit me. Oh, come on. It's not going to bite you again. Yes, it'll bite me again. You go. I'm not going. You got me scared. I'm not going. No way. I'm staying here. Well, I'll go alone then. No, don't do it. Don't go alone. No, I'm going alone. That's all. See you later. Now we need some thrashing through brush noises. Come back. Oh, somebody's saying no crickets. Someone doesn't hear the crickets. I hear the crickets. I can hear the crickets. I know they're going out. Yeah, it's crickets. Anyway, so here's that sound of the week. Okay. Oh yeah. I heard ducks too. Yeah, sure enough, ducks too. Okay, but while we're on the subject, let's go to the free music of the week. The free music of the week is got to be one of my favorite pieces of free background music ever. It's called Nevada City, and so let's go ahead and go to the free music section, and I've got it in my favorites. We'll see where it exists inside of this, inside of here. All right, Nevada City, please. I need some Nevada City favorites. There it is. And Nevada City exists in the ambient calm category. So you go to genre, I guess. Ambient. Ambient and genre would be calm. Okay, I guess. Well, no. Anyway, I know it's in ambient mood. Oh, it's in calm there. And in genre in the ambient. Okay, I see how they got it sorted. Anyway, let's hear what it sounds like. I think it's really lovely. Oh, sorry about that. Blasted everybody. Okay, let's just bring this up as background music. All right. So, for the rest of tonight's show, we're going to mostly talk about things that have nothing to do with that. Oh, come on, go back here. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. So I'm cutting it down about 20. Tell me if you can hear this or not, if it's balanced, and or if it's too quiet. But we have, Eileen did say she got crickets. Yeah, so this I think is one of the nicest. Nevada City, Hydra, and Eureka are three of my favorites, but you see what's in my favorites list, and we've listened to them over the last few weeks. So, so there you have it. Aha. So what are we gonna do next? We'll just let this play. We've covered that. We've covered image search tools, and let's see. We've done all this techie stuff, and we did a story. We did this poetry. Oh yes. What I was planning to do was run Audacity and attempt a multi-track recording with you guys watching me mess it up. All right, so shall we try it? Should we try that? I think we should go ahead and try that. That's what, yeah, because I have just enough time to do that, and that'll be our musical interlude. Count as a musical interlude, right? And one reason I've been thinking a lot about doing this multi-track recording thing is because it's pretty easy to do, and I'm thinking that you could have hangout jams where people play different parts and trade off the recordings, but you'd have to send people zip files and stuff, so, or just send them files. Or actually, no, they could just listen to the result. If they're using Voicemeeter, then they could hear the whole result on their end and be recording it while it's happening, I suppose. Well, anyway, logistics aside, I just love the echo used on this thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring it down. And yeah, I had it really kind of loud, I think. Okay, Nevada City. Good accompaniment, Lon, for doing the laundry. I totally agree. All right, let me bring up Audacity, and we'll make an attempt to get this thing working. And oh, I can't do that in here. I gotta run that in the main program here. Okay. So let's see. All right. Now, how am I going to bring this in? I guess I'll have to do it like this. Yeah, I don't want that. Oh, I thought I was all ready for this. I'm not. Okay, let's just do it this way. We'll do it upper monitor. I'll drag this thing up here. Yeah, you see all the stuff going on. You see the whole mess. So don't get frightened. Maybe you should get frightened. And we're going to see a bunch of tracks show up in here. Okay, so let me turn on some reverb. Aha! See, you saw me turn on the reverb. And looks like I'm doing okay with that. Make a left track. Okay, unmute this. Right track. Hello, I'm over here. This is my track. Okay, so bring this up. Actually, I won't need this yet, but well, let's see. We'll just do a test and see what we get in terms of sound. Okay. So remember, you have to clap to get the. Let me just right click. Oh yeah. All right, we already heard this sound though. Wow, that's a lot. records. This is only going to be very, very short though. So you probably want to see a little bit of camera action. So there's some camera. Let's edit the scene. Let's put this over here. Look at that, look how small it is. It's not my fault. There we go. Okay, so you have that camera. And let's go ahead and we'll throw in the other camera. Because you probably want to see the live cam. There we go. Put that down here. And you have to see my legs again. So. Alright. If I'm going to be over here, I better make this thing bigger. Isn't that amazing, folks? Alright. Okie dokie. Alright, I'm nervous about this, so don't get too excited. Here goes. I'm going to hit record and I'm going to display a brief thing. Oh, clicking record on my image, okay. Rewind that. And you see I have my little clicks here. So let's just play it back, make sure I can hear the clicks. And I can't yet. 1 second. I gotta change the setting up here. I definitely recorded something. Voicemeeter aux. Oh, that's why. Okay. Here. Oops. Do not open the browser. Okay. All right, I think I might be able to hear now. Let me see. Yes. Okay, but you have to be able to hear this too. Now this is going to be out of sync, the recording, so we'll have to, that's why I have to clap along at the same time, okay, when I do this. Let's see if it works. Oh, that would be good if I had a flute around here. Okay, and now you see how these are not quite in alignment with each other? So you press on this little button here, right there, and you grab hold of these and you try. Oops, I'm moving too much. 1 second. Okay, there we go. I think I can do it now. Maybe not. Oh no, I got them tied together. Oh, untie them. Let's see what I have to do. Wait a minute. I want to split. Okay, I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. I hadn't had to select it. That's what it is. So I get this little arrow. I have to click in here to select the region, I guess. No, it's still all moving together. Well, this worked just fine. Well, as you can see, I'm going to have to align these things, these two guys. All right. And disconnect them. Ah, there it is. little icon up here, sync lock tracks. I don't want that yet. I want that after I get these things lined up. But you see, you gotta line it up, just so. And now they look lined up a lot more, so things will be in sync. So let's hear this thing. Whoop. Yeah, so anyway, now you know about this little icon right up here, sync lock tracks. Sorry, I don't have the zoom in installed. Let's get it installed, there we go. So that was this item right here that says sync lock tracks. That was the troublemaker. I had that pressed from some other project earlier. So you undo that so that you can move them separately, and then when you press it again, it locks them all together. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen. So I got to turn up the flute. And it looks like, actually, gosh, I hope this isn't what happened. Let's mute this track. Oh, I went and copied the track into itself. All right, let me just do up here. I'm going to undo a few things. Okay, get this back. All right, I did not need to be sending this back to itself. That was the issue. Okay, so looks like you can't hear the parts I'm hearing. So you're going to have to just wait. Okay, so let's see. All right, doink. Okay, sync them up. Actually, that looks a pretty good sync. Yeah, it looks pretty almost right on. Let's see. Well, let's see what it sounds like. Okay, now I can let you hear the whole thing. Before it was recording into itself. Yeah, close. I got a problem here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that might be right. I have a feeling I could sing off by a full doodad, but maybe not. Let's just hear it. Nope, it was fine the way it was. Okay, all right, now let's add a layer of vocal and see what happens there. Ooh. ah, 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 ooh, ah. All right, and one more time. And so I'm going to go ahead and record it. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ooh, All right, there you have it. All right, so let's try to get these timings together. And I just have the final clap in most cases. And sync that a little bit there. It sounds to me like the flute's way off, actually. Yeah, it is. Look at that. Of course, you know, how accurate my claps were, too, is another whole issue. That was off. Okay. And that goes that way, I imagine. All right, so we may have a final result. Let's see if you can hear it. Behind a full measure, but what the heck, you saw it happen right here. We made it work. Still, the flute sounded way off. It might have just been my performance was way off, but that's the cool thing about the multi-tracking, because I can just redo the performance anytime. Now Eileen was asking which one of these was OBS. None of those screens that you're seeing is OBS. Here's OBS here. I'll drag it into the upper window. There you go. So that's OBS right there, and you see it do an infinity thing because it's capturing the same monitor that it's on. But this down here is the main thing to be concerned with. Down there these are the things that change the settings. Okay, these change my setups. So you see this one just shows the camera. Here it shows the StarTech in the background, and this shows the upper monitor which we're on now. So there you have it. So, okay, so what you're seeing up here is Voicemeeter up here. It's Voicemeeter, and there's Audacity, and this is the strip that the maker of Voicemeeter also provides. It's got a compressor, and it's got a EQ, and it's got a nice gain control built in. So, using that, and of course the two reverbs. So hey, what's all this reverb doing here? Okay, so here we go. Okay, so enough of me being in one ear. You now heard it, so let's hear it again just one more time. I'm going to tone down some of these levels, because that's one thing, is when you have a lot of sounds on top of each other layered, the levels really creep up on you in terms of volume. And so if I turn them all down a little bit, then it won't overload the outputs, and you'll have something okay. So let's just go ahead one more time for the effort. All right. So with a little rehearsal, that could actually be worth worth doing a second take on. But there you have it. I'm just going to close this and, well, heck, what I'll go ahead and save. Why not? I'll tell you what. I'll promise to come up with a with another copy of this thing, demo multi. There we go. I will make another version for next week that's all cleaned up with the same chord pattern with the vocals, the flute, the whole 9 yards, and we'll have that, and I'll show you how many layers I wind up putting on. And there's some other things I could do with it too, with compression and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so there you go. Can you believe it? It's already so much time has passed. It's unbelievable. I mean, good grief. I always think I'm going to have all this time left to fool around in this show. It never happens. But all right, let me turn down Audacity. We didn't wind up overloading, didn't wind up killing everything, and we did pretty good. Okay, great. And let me just mute the second mic there. You're hearing my other flute mic over here. All righty. Well, let's see what else we're going to do over here. Well, let's let's see, here, comments, there we go. Okay, so let's scroll down the comments, catch some new comments, and we had, we had the cricket problem, but the crickets finally did appear, and Scott, who's been there all along, is finally going. Lon's folding laundry to it, and this is some Audacity stuff. Now remember, this Audacity demo was bare bones, basically just to show you that you can click the record button, you can adjust the tracks so they're in sync, and there's even more techniques for getting them in sync that I'm going to show next week, okay? Because there are some very, very cool, easy methods that use a little bit of editing skills that make it so that they all snap right in place, okay? And it's almost instant. Okay, so yeah, I showed the OBS. Oh, good. I didn't know you were using Audacity a lot, Mark. Awesome. So, yeah, if you type in Voicemeeter, it's not spelled like that. It's spelled voice, M-E-E-T-E-R. And if you type that into the search, there's only one thing going to show up, okay? And that will be the Voicemeeter program that you want, all right? So, alrighty, so, yeah, in fact, I'll show you. We'll go over here, make a new search, and you can't see the search, of course. Here it is. Here we are. So that's how it's spelled, Voicemeeter. If you want the regular version, Voicemeeter. If you want banana, that's Voicemeeter Pro. Okay, Voicemeeter. And the top one, VB Audio Voicemeeter, is the program. And it takes you to a tabbed page that shows banana here, and also shows the virtual audio cable he has there. They're all donationware. They're fully functional donationware. So they're freeware if you can't afford any kind of donation. He's asking for like anywhere from 13 to 20 bucks for the original Voicemeeter, and anywhere from like 18, 19, 20 bucks to 35 bucks for the Pro version. And the Pro version is what I use, okay? And of course, if you like it, make tutorials like I do to promote it. It doesn't hurt. He's very grateful. If you look down at the bottom of this page, three of these videos are mine. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 of these videos are mine. And so he put them right up on his page because they show how to use some of the specs of the Voicemeeter Pro. Okay, not by me, but I also did do a Voicemeeter manual. So if you typed in Voicemeeter video manual, you would find the Voicemeeter video manual that I made, which is an hour long. And it covers every single thing about this lovely program. All right, so okay, there's Voicemeeter for you. So I would not, I wouldn't go to Softonic. I'm not sure what version of, I just saw Eileen, let me put up the comments. There, don't use that link, Eileen. Softonic often has older versions. Now I know Vincent's really, really proud because Softonic just put him in there and featured him as featured software. But I would, since I know where the source is, I would just always get it from the source because I'll always know I'm getting the latest copy. But then again, knowing Vincent, he probably makes sure that Softonic's got the latest copy too. So I guess maybe I'm making a big to-do about nothing. However, the manual, the link to the manual is at the page I was showing you. So you'll want to, go here in order to get the manual. Where the heck is it? Oh, it's somewhere in here. Anyway, he's got a manual in here too. There it is, documentation. Oops, not showing the right page. So there you have the documentation is on that page I was sharing. Voicemeeter user manual. And now there's also a Voicemeeter Banana user manual. And there it is, Voicemeeter Banana user manual is right above the video tutorials. Okay? You'll definitely want to have the manual around when you're first starting with this. Or watch all of my videos. But yeah, Banana rocks. Banana's so cool. I mean, it has, okay, a slight departure from what we expected to be talking about today. I'm going to at least show one thing that I think is so cool about this darn Banana. Let's see, upper monitor, there we go. Let me move my picture out of the way. Okay, this thing has these EQ buttons, okay? And if you right click on them, up comes a fully parametric EQ for each channel, okay? By parametric, what it means is that you can determine the slope and angle and sweep of every single component. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 components. The bottom one is the bass roll off. Usually this is what it looks like. Let me try to get this thing out of the way. Turn off the live cam. Oh, live cam, go off. There we go. All right, so there's a bass roll off, very common when you're trying to get rid of air conditioner noise from a recording. You recorded something in at a conference room, at a hotel, and they got this darn air conditioner going. Well, you roll off this thing, and you can change how steep the roll off is, and all kinds of cool stuff in here that you can change. Oh, where am I changing? There we go. That's what I'm looking to change. So you can decide where it's going to start rolling off with this button here, okay? Or you can choose a different angle. Even this, meaning all you have is the bass in this channel, only bass, okay? Very seldom used. Or you can notch it, but the one that most people use for this bottom one, for the low, is this one, with this, where they determine where they're going to start getting rid of lows. Everything below that hump, where it starts going into down, everything from there is cut off. So they call this a high pass filter because it only passes highs and it cuts off lows. Also call it a low cut filter. So same thing on this side. This is the high cut side. And so you would usually do this and then change the thing to decide how much of the high frequencies you want to get rid of. To get rid of hiss and stuff like that. Then if you got a vocal thing and it's a boomy room and you're having trouble, you might twiddle around with one of these shapes and get rid of a notch and change the amount. Oh, it's not this one, it's this one. You might change the slope of the notch. You might use these things where you adjust it yourself using this top one and change the Q. This is called the Q, is how steep that gets. And do your shapes right there. So, and change which frequency it is. So this is really awesome. When you get in here, start playing with it, you will be amazed at how profound this is. And you can save presets. You can do it at different channels. Flat, of course, is just flat. You can have two different things going on to do an A/B comparison. All kinds of cool stuff. And that's just from right-clicking on it, the EQ button. All right, so there you go. That's included only in the banana version, the pro version. They don't have the fancy EQ in that one. They just have the kind of rudimentary 3-band EQ like these channels have in the other one, and only for the one strip that brings in your sounds from the outside. This up here is a sound manipulator. You can hear my sound is changing, and it's getting tinny, it's getting echoey, it's getting a different bassy, it's getting real thin. There's still kinds of things I can do. You double click and it brings it back there. That's in the other version, the regular version as well. All right, so I could like do this and say, make a kind of a little bit of slapback to make it sound sort of like I'm talking double track in a way. Anyway, let's not mess with success. We already got something working, but anyway, you'll have fun. Believe me, anybody's going to have fun. So, okay, there you have it. What can we do now? It's almost time to call it quits. What am I going to do? I think I better do a fast musical thing. Yeah, without all that. So, let me go to System. And this time I'm not going to include all these other. All right, that'll do. Why is it? No, not that one. Yeah, I used that before. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. And try a little slow down. Okay. Woohoo! All right. Well, that's going to wrap up another night. Oh my gosh, I got dry. Yeah, I get dry in here. Okay, well, amazingly, 8:30 has rolled around again. It's 8:29. What's my rush? So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. And you even put up with the huge, scary-looking display of all the equipment. It's like looking behind the scenes for that last piece. You got to see all the meters running around and stuff. You know, it's awesome. And that's the kind of stuff I love watching. So, anyway, thanks a lot for coming tonight. Let me just get to mute that. Oop. Let's see. I don't know why I'm hearing reverb because reverb's on. So, all right. Yeah, thanks a lot for coming. I hope it was entertaining and that you got a lot out of the tutorial parts and enjoyed the musical interludes and even enjoyed my lame reading of that segment from So. And definitely enjoyed the poems. The Betty Botta poem, after all, is one of the greats. And thanks, Scott Scowcroft, for challenging me to read your persnickety piece that you provided. Yes, posthumously. So anyway, it was really a great fun doing tonight's show. I really glad I got to cover some of the things that we did and got to even do a multi-track. And remember, I've promised to give you that piece that we did complete in a format, and it'll be multi-tracked and done on Audacity in its entirety. Okay? Well, all right. So let me just quickly shift over here to the comments so I can say goodnight in a proper way. There we go. And thank you very much, Christy. Absolutely. Don't choke on the blue juice, exactly. Uh-huh. As I was having a bit of a hard time, I needed blue juice quick. Okay, so yeah, Eileen, I'm glad you enjoyed all that stuff. And I can show you how to get rid of background noises and stuff like that too, and things like that. So, and yeah, the Voicemeeter has that neat cassette deck up there, and to show it again, this cassette deck really is a multi-track cassette deck. If you put 8 tracks into it, it records 8 tracks. Yeah, believe it or not, and it's a full recorder. It'll record at as high a quality as you want to send it signal. So, and then you can bring that into Audacity and stuff like that and edit it. So anyway, yeah, this how can you lose? This is donationware. It's like so amazing. Okay, so DVR'd the video. Oh yeah, I even sing. Okay. And yeah, just about died in that last piece. So all right, well, thanks a lot, everybody, for coming. Great comments. Look at this. Okay, another good event. Yeah, thank you. And I'll get the time stamping done maybe later tonight or tomorrow during the week. I did timestamp last week's, and I need to timestamp the week before yet, so I'm running behind on my timestamps. I think week 5 got timestamped already, but anyhow, it'll be there. All timestamps. You can go right to the music parts and things like that, or to the tutorials that you want to take a look at again. And if you ever have a request for me to do just a one video tutorial on any of the stuff that we've talked about already, go ahead and ask me. Send me a direct message or use the Hangout chat, or however you want to. Put a message in the comments here, and I'll make a dedicated video on that subject. Okay, not a problem, because I mean, this is like my rehearsal anyway, to do full-blown things, right? Yeah, obviously it must be rehearsal the way I screw up sometimes. Okay, well, good night. I'm off to go watch my Sunday night TV shows on PBS, and get some dinner in me. So I love doing this, and it's great having you all out there enjoying it, and all you folks that watch the replay also. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and do share, the video if you like it. If you like the show, go ahead and share the show with your friends and tell them what's going on. It's I didn't have any guests on, but if you'd like to be a guest on a future show, let me know and I'll bring you in. You saw it last week and the previous week. I was able to get that to work with a Hangout video call. I brought in Andrew, and I brought in Michael Daniels. And by the way, and congratulations to Michael Daniels for your 1 year plus word anniversary. That was yesterday. It was super cool. I was there, not for the whole 6 hours, but I was there for quite a bit. My whole sound system blew up yesterday, so I was out of the scene for 2 hours trying to figure out what I'd done wrong. This minor thing. Anybody wants to know, what did you do wrong? Let me know. Okay, well, good night then. Let me get this thing all set up for stopping streaming. There we go. And good night then. See you next week.